Trauma is a lie, and it's time to wake up. I know that the topic of trauma is very sensitive, and I want to address it with the utmost respect to the people who label themselves as traumatized. And believe me, you guys, I am saying traumatized because I have all the credentials to label myself as traumatized, and I have been labeling myself as traumatized for years until I found out what I'm about to share with you in today's video. Because labeling yourself as traumatized, this is a detriment to your mental health, to your life, to everything. And I say label myself, and you label yourself. No one else do it for you or to you. You do. And it's a label you just take on yourself. And actually, it's a coping mechanism, but we will dive in very deep in today's session to why you shouldn't believe this lie. Now, everything that you know about trauma might be wrong. I just want you to question this concept. And if you're watching this, you're still watching this, something in you tells you, maybe it's bullshit, maybe I'm not traumatized. And let me tell you, once you don't label yourself as traumatized anymore, healing and self growth happens so rapidly. Alfred Adler, one of the most influential psychologists, believed that trauma is not event itself, it's the meaning we attach to it. Unlike Freud, who argued the past wounds dictate our future, Adler insists that we are in control of our own narratives in life. In this video, I will expose for you guys the real truth about trauma. And I'm going to tell you also psychological reasons. And we're going to cover what else? Let me see. I got it right here for you. We're going to cover psychological reasons, scientific reasons, and philosophical facts about trauma. I'm going to give you everything that you need to know. How society and the government use trauma to keep you weak and submissive. This is something that got to do with the government as well. Now, I am not a person who talks about conspiracies or this or that. But there is something there, and you're gonna realize that in today's video. Now, why trauma is a label that excuses inaction and emotional stagnation. Then we're going to talk about the 11 scientific and psychological facts that prove that trauma is not a life sentence. What David Goggins and other warriors know about overcoming pain. Now, if you ever been told that trauma defines you, this video will break the illusion. Break the illusion and will set you free. Also, you guys, I want to know what you think. Drop in the comments below what you think about trauma in general. Did you experience that? Do you believe that? Do you not? Let us know. I'm Coach Goldman, your relationship and breakup coach. This topic is so near and dear to my heart because for years I suffered from trauma, PTSD. I was an Israeli soldier, and I went through a lot of other stuff in my life: cheating, betrayals, lost people, so many things that I just said to myself, I'm traumatized. In my relationships, I'm traumatized. You can't expect me to perform as a partner because I'm traumatized, or as a person, I'm traumatized. This happened in the war. I saw a man's head blow off. I'm traumatized. I couldn't sleep because I said, hey, I'm traumatized. Listen, you guys, this is not the way to live. When I question it and I say, what the fuck is trauma? And I really researched that deep, deep, deep. And then I came to some articles that Alfred Adler wrote. And he is a world-renowned psychotherapist, amazing dude. And he challenged Freud's belief in trauma. He stated, no experience is in itself cause of our success or failure. We do not suffer from the shock of our experiences, what we call trauma. Instead, we make out of them whatever suits our purpose, whatever suits us. So, this is a self interpretation that we're giving to trauma, to event. Event happened, occurred. Let's call it an occurrence. Then our perception, our attitude, and the way we interpreted it makes it so. Two people can experience the same thing. One will call it trauma, the other will call it just life or shit happens. Why? I mean, you really got to come into this video that I'm teaching you here today with a huge question mark and question everything that you knew or thought you knew about trauma. Because once you put a question mark, you will start seeing, start picking holes in your old belief system that didn't serve you. Because thinking that you're traumatized, you're just a victim. I chose not to be a victim. And I hope that you will make the same decision as well. And I'm going to give you all of the reasons and all of the intellectual understandings that you need in order for you to rise and overcome whatever it is that you thought you're traumatized by. Adler emphasized that it's not the events themselves, but the meaning that we assigned to them that shapes our lives. In his view, we are not controlled or determined by past experiences. Focusing solely on the past causes creates a sense of determinism, that the false belief, okay, that our present and future are locked in place by unchangeable past events. Because what happened, you cannot change it. And when you look at what happened and you say, oh, it happened, that's it, it's definite. There is no growth, there is no change, there is no progression, there is nothing. What happened controlled you. Does that make sense? Do you want this to make sense? Forget about everything if it makes sense or not. Do you want it to make sense? Do you want to be controlled by what happened in the past, whether it's a breakup, divorce, cheating, hardships, death in the family? Maybe you injured yourself in a way that now you're for life a bit handicapped or whatever. Do you want to live like that, or do you want to rise, or do you want to see the good side of whatever happened for you instead of looking at it and saying it happened into me? Now look at me, not poor you, victor you, not victim you. Unlike Freud, who linked present unhappiness to past psychic wounds, the Adlerian psychology denies that concept of trauma. This is why I don't really side with Freud. Many things that he said, he's a great philosopher, of course, but I think he was way too pessimistic. And Adler was more optimistic and more realistic, not even optimistic, just realistic. And he viewed life for what it is. And he said, this is the circumstances, what we can do with them. Let's examine and let's see. That's an approach that will this is a progressive approach to life. Now, instead, it empowers us to see, that we are the ones who give meaning to our experiences, shaping our path forward. Coach Paz's take on trauma. This is my take on trauma. A person will label themselves as being traumatized only when they fail to perform at their highest level and they refuse to take accountability. So they pull the I'm traumatized card, get out of jail free card, that you can't expect me to perform. I'm traumatized. That's it. I'm traumatized. Don't fuck with me. Don't expect nothing from me. It is what it is. No, 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 no. There is much less social pressure on people who label themselves as traumatized. It's socially insensitive to push someone who's traumatized into doing anything. After the war, people didn't expect nothing from it, from the soldier, from us, nothing. Oh, he's been to war, expect nothing. But back in the days, real warriors, do you think they needed to take a lot of time to recover from whatever they went through? Today's men, especially, and people in general, very weak, very, very weak. Everything that happens, they need to take time, so much time to process their thoughts and emotions and all of that shit. I just don't side with it. I don't believe that. And I want to remind you that this is my opinion. This is my channel, my opinion. You're watching that, you choose to watch it. No one forced you to watch this video. This is my channel, my opinion. If you want to, you have your opinion, post it on your channel. Say whatever you want to say. But this is what I believe to be true. And this is what got me to where I am today. And I'm happy and successful. other people who are unhappy or unsuccessful or in whatever endeavor, you can listen to whoever you want, but make sure that you listen to people you are looking up to, and people that actually live a quality life and balanced existence. Trauma, from my experience, from my point of view, trauma is the government invention to keep people weak and in a state of need. Because when people are weak and needy, they are much more controllable and submissive. It's easy to control someone that is weak. Very easy. When you see a soldier that is traumatized, it makes you think that it's okay to be like that because they see some horrible stuff, right? What do you think David Goggins hasn't been traumatized? You think he didn't? All soldiers were traumatized, but it's what you do with it. It's what you do with it. It's not what it's doing with you. It's not the trauma that controls you. It's your perception. It's your perception. Now, if you said to yourself, I'm traumatized, you're just saying to yourself, I'm choosing to prolong my suffering due to very low societal standards that the government sets to enslave us all. To summarize this part of the video, trauma is a label and a coping mechanism for an inability to grow and deal with your emotions. Trauma is comfortable label for emotionally lazy people. I've said it, for emotionally lazy people, it's very, very comfortable because they say to themselves, I'm traumatized. Don't expect shit. No, take responsibility over your life. And now I'm going to give you 11 psychological and scientific and philosophical facts about trauma that will shift the way that you see trauma. And believe me, after that, you will not see it in the same way. You will realize that trauma is bullshit. Number one, trauma is subjective interpretation, psychology. No experience inherently causes success or failure. Rather, it is the meaning we assign to the experience that influences us. Two people can experience the same exact thing, the same event, but respond to it in completely different ways based on their personal perspective. Resilience studies, many researchers shows that some individuals emerge stronger and more resilient after adverse events, suggesting that the event of itself does not dictate the outcome. How many people do you know that that went through a breakup or divorce or hardships and challenges in their life, and they actually grew stronger from them? How many people? I'm one of them. How many? And if you don't know many, just know, look at people like me, look at people like David Goggins, look at people that are went through shit and make gold out of this shit. Because this is possible. If one person can, we all can. This is why I don't want you to believe in this trauma bullshit. Number two, neuroplasticity and healing. Brain's ability to rewire. Neuroplasticity demonstrate that the brain can rewire itself and adapt. Our brain is very adaptable, even after distressing events, proving that the effects of these events are not fixed or permanent. We can change, our brain can change. PTG, it's post-traumatic growth. Studies on post-traumatic growth shows that individuals often report positive changes such as greater personal strength, deeper relationship, or a renewed sense of purpose following adversity. And I can tell you that everything that tried to break me, made me, everything, struggles, death, all kind of stuff that I went through and saw in my life strengthened my soul to a degree that now I feel like I'm unbreakable. Even when my mom passed away, very quickly I recovered. Past relationship ended. Very quickly I recovered. And I'm talking to you about not a matter of even days. 10 minutes I gave to my when my mom passed away. Said I'm giving it 10 minutes to mourn, to feel sad about it, and I'm moving on. This is how it is. Now, some of you might not side with me and not think that it is a good way, or you say you didn't really fully they recover or digest the emotions or process the grief. But believe me, I have my mechanisms of processing so much faster than the normal person because of my point of view, because of the way that I see things. I don't see myself as victim or never. Everything that happened for me to grow. So I connect the dot looking forward because I've spent so many times to connect the dots looking backwards that now I know that everything is happening in my favor. Everything. Even when my mom passed away, how can I extract the best out of it? I looked at life and I said, life is such a beautiful journey and it's a short one. Let's enjoy it. Different state of mind, you guys. Number three, cognitive behavioral therapy, CPBD, BT, sorry. Focus on thoughts, not events. CBT is based on the principle that our thoughts about an event, not the event itself, causes distress. By changing the thought patterns, individuals can overcome the negative impact of adverse experience. Just like when I just shared with you with my mom passing away. I changed the way I view that as a positive. That's it. It's a positive. Not everything is so negative and detrimental and hard. Things happen in life and life goes on. Eventually, I knew I'm going to move on. So I said, why wait and prolong the suffering? I know she would like me to be happy and move on with my life. I know she's looking down on me and saying, I'm proud of you, son, and I love you, mom. I know that. This is just her body that is not here, but the spirit is always here. It's with me. It's with me. And now she's even closer to me. You see the change. It's change of mind. Number four, cultural relativity of trauma. Different societal reactions. In some cultures, events labeled as traumatic in Western psychology are seen as riots or a rite of passage or opportunities of for growth. That this suggests trauma is not universal but depends on cultural narratives. It's how you see it. It's how you see it. Can you see it now that it's how you see it? Let me know in the comments below if you feel me, if you see it differently, change perspective. Let me know in the comments below. Number five, philosophical arguments against determinism. Victor Frankl, okay? Logotherapy. Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, emphasized that individuals have the freedom to choose their attitude and meaning, even in the most uh, just horrible circumstances. And Viktor Frankl, he was a Holocaust survivor. He went through shit. He actually saw his wife. They killed his wife right in front of him. He went through a lot, and he saw the beauty in the Holocaust. He emerged stronger after he was in captivity for years. Can you imagine that the man, and the name of his book is A Man's Search for Meaning. If you haven't read it, it's a great read about resilience and changing perspective and seeing the good and the opportunity and the growth in everything, because a weak man see obstacle in everything. A strong man see the opportunity in everything. And I'm not talking just about a man, a person. It can be also a female. Gender, it's not a gender specific thing. Change from within. See things as opportunities and not as obstacles. Nothing is there to get you. God didn't say, let's fuck this motherfucker up. No. God gives everybody everything they need to grow. He gives you opportunities. If you take them, great. If you don't, this is your problem. Stoicism. Ancient Stoic philosophy teaches that it's not what happens to us, but how we interpret it and respond to it that matters. Aligning with the denial of trauma as fixed, in incapable outcome. We can change. That's the thing. Number six is biological evidence. Stress response variability. Not everyone who experiences adverse events develop PTSD or long-term distress, showing that biological responses to events vary widely. Epigenetics. We talked about it, that while stress can leave a mark on genetic expressions, epigenetic changes are dynamic and can be reversed through environment, behavior, and mindset changes. Number 7 is the role of perception in trauma, placebo and nocebo effect. The placebo effect demonstrates how belief can heal, while the nocebo effect shows how belief in harm can distress, further supporting the perception shapes the chips that our perception shapes our experience more than the events themselves. And in the war, this is how they came up with the placebo when they didn't have enough anesthesia to perform surgery on soldiers back in the, I think in the 1930s. This is where they put salt, just salt water, and they told them this is the anesthesia. And let me tell you, the soldiers just didn't feel the pain. Why? Mindset. Mindset is everything. Number 8, practical evidence from survivors. Survivor thrives. Many individuals who endured severe adversities like abuse, natural distress, war, go on to lead fulfilling lives, demonstrating that the events themselves are not inherently demonstrative of one's future. Take a look at Oprah. She had Oprah Winfrey, the most horrible childhood. Look at her now. Just look at one person. I'm not even going to give you the whole array of people. Just think about one person that made it. And here in the placebo and the epigenetic and nocebo, this is also where Dr. Joe Dispenza he conducted a lot of researches that our thought can make us sick, our thought can make us well. Everything is in the mind. This is the control system of everything. Number 9, determinism undermines agencies. Believing trauma is unchangeable locks individual into victimhood and removes their agency to heal. Rejecting the concept of trauma restores control over one's narrative and encouraging proactive growth and healing. Number 10, mindfulness and acceptance-based therapy. Mindfulness practices teaches individuals to observe thoughts and feelings without attaching meaning, reducing the power of distressing memories or events. This approach supports the idea that trauma is not an event, but how we process it. It's the meaning you attach to it, that this is everything. What is the meaning that you attach to the event that happened? This is everything. Last but not least, here, critic of over pathologizing human experience, labeling distressing events as trauma medicalizes normal human suffering, creating self-fulfilling prophecy where individuals see themselves as damaged. It's how you see yourself, it's how you view yourself. Your point of view, your mindset is everything, you guys. To summarize this session, by focusing on meaning making, resilience, and individual agency, the concept of trauma as unchangeable, objective reality is changed. Instead, the evidence suggests that is our response, perceptions and response that determine the impact of any event. You guys, everything is in your mind, everything is under your control. I really hope that you realize that trauma is a lie. Trauma is bullshit. Everything is within you. It's how you see it. You can see it as the victim or the victor. You can see it, view it any way, shape, or form that you want. I wanted to provide for you my point of view, the way that I see it. I don't believe in trauma. I don't believe in anxiety. I don't believe in depression. I don't believe in all of that bullshit. I believe that life is happening for me to elevate, evolve, become stronger and better through everything that life shows me. Nothing is happening to my disadvantage, everything for my highest good. This is my point of view. If you want to embrace it, you're welcome. If you don't, it's all good. I send you love, healing. If you ever need to talk or you have questions, drop it in the comment below. In the description, you have my information, email, WhatsApp, whatever you need. I got you. I'll see you again in the next video. Take care.